Hello, everybody. Welcome to Chop and Slice. My name is Michael, and this is.
Brandon,
We are here to talk about The Collector.
2009.
Yes, sir.
It was my first time seeing this movie. We just watched it like 10 minutes ago. Michael, I think you said you've seen this.
Seen it probably when it came out a while ago, so back in 2009, I'm assuming. First time I seen it was one of my cousin's favorite movies. She introduced it to me, and I didn't really remember other than pretty much the guy playing Arkin is Josh Stewart. That's pretty much what I remembered. I knew he was in it, and I know he's a very good actor. Seen him do some other stuff. So going into this, it was basically my first time again because I completely forgot everything about this movie. But I have seen the collection, so I kind of know how he looks and everything. So I do remember the collection a little bit better.
And there's supposed to be a third movie, or
The collected, but it keeps getting delayed. So
why is that?
the second movie didn't make money.
Oh,
It actually lost money. So
shit.
but these movies are so good, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Just a lot of people haven't really seen them. You know, I mean, you're a big horror guy. This is your first time, so it's not a good sign for this franchise.
Well, it would be nice to get a third movie because, I mean, have a nice, good, solid trilogy.
Well, I mean, we
I-
still gotta do
I-
the second movie.
Right. I've seen the second movie, but don't really remember too much of it. But this is actually the first time I saw the first one, so it was very good, very different from most horror movies I've seen. It
Yeah,
kind of
so
reminded me of The Strangers a little bit, but more intensified.
it was very much like Saw meets The Strangers and a horror version of Home Alone, basically. A lot of traps, booby traps, a lot of that going on. So just a lot of different
But
variables.
I don't know how he sets all that shit up.
I don't know. This guy seems like he's like trained tactician. He knows what he's doing. Might have had some experience in the military. But from what we know, Arkin said he knows who the guy is once he pulls off the mask. He knows who the guy is. He worked with them. They did like some pest control at this family's house. Pest control, and he was working there before, probably setting up traps then. So very interesting, very interesting. Arkin in this movie is very. I've heard a lot of people say he's kind of an anti-hero. To me, he's just a guy trying to help his family, and it's unfortunate that he has to steal from a family that was actually kind of generous to him. But you know what? You got to do what you got to do. Sometimes, do I agree with it? No, but his own daughter's life is at risk. So
But this is one of those movies where it was like I was rooting for the guy.
yeah, you know the collector isn't like Michael or Jason where you're rooting mostly for the evil villain. Arkin was actually a very likable guy to me. He was smart in this movie. He wasn't a dumb character. He made some tough decisions. It wasn't like, oh shoot, I forgot my phone and I got to run back in the house. He actually ran back in to save the little girl. So it's not like he was just run up the stairs or run down the stairs and be stupid. He was actually very smart, tactical, came up a way to escape this guy. He actually escaped him twice. But in the end, as you see, he does get taken. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. It's one of those movies where the bad guy wins.
Right, yeah.
Kind of.
He didn't get what he ultimately wanted, but this guy is the collector. He collects people that he likes, and people that he doesn't like, he just kills them.
But it makes me wonder, what does he do with these people when he collects them?
That they touch on in the second, so you'll find out more about that in the second. I do remember the second pretty well, but you'll find out more about that in the second.
All right. Well,
I kind of like that they didn't give everything away. You don't know everything about the guy in this. He's
that
very
they kind of left
mysterious.
a lot of stuff open.
In that regard, he is kind of like a Halloween like version, kind of like just hiding in the shadows, mysterious. They don't show his face. His mask is kind of just generic. Cool, kind of cool with the contacts and everything. Yeah, very interesting. This movie was actually inspired by Seven, which was also the movie that inspired Saw. So this is very similar to Saw in certain ways. The writers also actually wanted this to be a prequel to Saw. I was reading, so they wanted this guy
A
to kind of be.
prequel to Saw.
They wanted this guy to be the jigsaw, setting up all the traps. They wanted this, the writers, but the studio declined it. So
Well, yeah, because this particular character doesn't have the same motives as Jigsaw. Jigsaw wouldn't go in someone's house.
would have written it in a certain way that did fit the Jigsaw character, but the premise of this movie would have stayed the same. So that was their idea, but you know what? I'm kind of glad it wasn't. This movie is perfect.
It's better off just on its
This
own.
is a really good film. I really don't have. It got like a 22% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is I don't understand.
Sad.
The acting was okay. It wasn't great.
But the critics are always hard on horror movies, though.
Yeah, 22 is low.
For a movie like this, nah.
This actually had me on edge. Like a horror movie, I was like, yeah, good slasher. We'll see. This movie had me on edge. There was some gnarly kills, cringy kills, made you cringe. It was kind of brutal.
He's ripping that girl's tongue out and sewing her mouth shut and knocking the guy's teeth out and
So this movie was really about Arkin trying to do the right thing for his daughter and his daughter's mother. Unfortunately, he has to rob this family's house, get in their safe, steal whatever he had to steal. I think it was like a diamond or something. Obviously, the guy knew this was going down because the collector brought some dude in a box and said, he's here for you. So it seemed like he knew Arkin was coming, so he set up all the traps. Now, Arkin was talking to a couple people earlier, telling them of his plan, which, what I don't understand is, how were they getting money? They weren't even part of the whole setup. Remember how he's like, yeah, I got this house I want to rob, talking to these like higher up folks. I don't know who they were, that ran that club, I believe. And he said, yeah, I got this place I want to rob, but I'm going to give you 50%. I didn't see them the whole movie helping them do nothing. That part I didn't understand. Why were they getting any cut? What did they assist you on?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think it was to buy him more time because he had already owed them money.
I don't think those were the people he owed. I don't know. It seemed like he worked with those people doing previous other robberies. Unfortunately, he just seems like a guy that got himself in deep water. He's trying to do the best he can. It's obvious he had a good heart as he went back for the child.
Yeah,
and that's really where you were like, damn, I really want to root for this guy even more now. He just saved the child. Unfortunately, they don't do anything to hurt the child in this movie. That would have been kind of disappointing to see that. There's some brutal kills. Most definitely.
Probably one of the best kills I've ever seen in any horror movie.
The bear trap.
Oh, yeah. Guy got caught in all those bear traps. That was probably one of the most badass things I've ever seen. It's up there with the liquid nitrogen kill with from Jason X. This movie had me on the edge of my seat. I was like, whoa. I wasn't expecting all this. And all these traps, man. Like,
yeah.
How he had time to set all that up and shit.
I don't know how he did it. Also, another thing is you don't hear the guy talk at all. He's not talking.
He's kind of a mute.
Just focus on killing, which makes him even more scarier. So that was interesting that he just wants to kill. Yeah, it was a very interesting movie. I mean, I had no real issue with this movie other than the filter. I don't like the green look. Sometimes there was a filter where it was green. I'm not a fan of that in this or in Saw, where the whole movie's just green.
I
I
don't
just
know.
want
Kind
it
of.
to look normal. That's one of my major things I pointed out. Yeah,
It seemed like that was kind of a mid 2000 thing.
yeah, I kind of feel like the another thing that was missing is like a kick-ass soundtrack. Like I didn't even notice. I'm sure there was some music. I didn't even notice it. Unfortunately, I kind of wish there was like some kick-ass like a theme or something. There really wasn't any of that I can remember. That would have been kind of cool to have.
But this movie doesn't start off brutal and vicious. It starts off kind of peaceful.
Yeah, they're just working
Actually.
on dude's house, the Chase family's house. He meets. Well, I guess he's been working there for a minute, so we meet the Chase family. They are unfortunately the family that gets brutalized, so that's interesting. Seems like a good group of people. At first, they think Arkin. Well, the father thinks Arkin is the one doing this to them.
Well, he
And
clearly wasn't because he wasn't the guy in the mask.
no, but I mean, again, it's like two people are. He probably thought he was a partner of his or something at that time. Remember when he was rolled out on the floor?
Yeah, I remember.
He probably
that.
thought he was his partner or something. Because again, how many times does two people like on accident or whatever run into each other, invading the same exact house at the same time? Doesn't happen. Probably never happened. Be nearly impossible for that.
Here's one of the dumb things though that in the movie where when he goes downstairs and he sees the dad or the husband, whatever, tied up, being tortured, and that's when he tells him, I'm just here trying to help you. And then he was like, I have a gun in the safe. And then he goes and gets the gun out of the safe, and there's no fucking bullets in the damn thing.
Yeah, it was pretty stupid.
Who keeps the gun in the safe? First of all, if someone's intruding your house, it's going to take some time to go in your safe to pull the gun out, and now you don't have any fucking bullets in it.
Right.
And so now you gotta go search for that too. So
yeah, that's kind of
that doesn't seem right. So,
no.
But if you know what, I think it would have totally changed everything if that gun had bullets in it.
Right.
That would have been a total game changer.
Because it's not like this guy's Jason or.
He can be killed.
He's not even Michael. He can be hurt and he can be killed. He wasn't overpowerful. He seemed like he knew what he was doing with the knives, and he definitely knew how to kill. As his traps were rather interesting. And his dog, he obviously had that dog trained to kill too. See what he did to a cop later on in the movie. So, yeah, very, very interesting.
The way the dog goes out was awesome.
Yeah, this is definitely, the dog, that was pretty cool kill too. Yeah, how he throws the dog at the collector, and the collector shoots his own dog with a shotgun. That was pretty sick. But yeah, overall, this movie is really good. I can't complain. I was impressed.
I was very impressed. Probably one of the greatest movies I've seen, to be honest with you.
Horror-wise.
Horror-wise, yeah.
I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
It ain't like it's... ain't Goodfellas here. No, but a good movie, no doubt. Very, very good film. And I definitely...
Very creative. It was something different.
It's probably,
brutal.
Again, probably best on the first watch, honestly, because like now you go back and watch it, you know everything. First watch, well, I've seen it, but it was like 13 years ago, so I forgot everything. So it was like watching it over again. It's a good movie to show somebody, but like for a personal watch for your enjoyment, it's better just, I don't know. It's kind of like The Barbarian. You watch it and now you know everything. This is always going to be a movie that best to watch on first watch. It will be your best experience, no doubt. Kept you on edge.
Yeah, I would definitely check this movie out. I mean, unless you got like a really weak stomach, then I would suggest not watching it. But if you like all the brutal shit, if you like, vicious torture shit, I mean, this is your movie to watch. So
with that being said, go ahead and get to the ratings. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of substance to this movie. Really dissect. It's just pretty straightforward. So with that being said, I'd give this movie a solid 9 out of 10. It's just a great horror film. Perfect, like great on the first watch. Only issue I had, like I said, was the filter. Could have been just the way it was shot wasn't the greatest. It was hard to see some stuff. There was nothing wrong with the writing or anything. I thought the writing was great. The directing was great. Just the filter on it, and I know it's that 2005 2009 style kind of vibe, which I'm not the biggest fan of that era of horror movies. But this movie definitely might be one of the best out of that era. The look of the guy was pretty cool. He wasn't. They didn't make him look like overpower. He had a different look. The mask was decent.
It's pretty generic.
Yeah, but it kind of was just creepy that it was generic. Like it wasn't cool looking. You know, they didn't make this guy to be cool at all. They didn't want you rooting for this guy. You know, so I appreciate that. So this movie, based on like the writers were very intelligent on how they wanted this to be shot and filmed and written based on the character. So the character of the collector, we don't know nothing about him. I don't know more about him than when I started this movie. You know, I think there's a lot of questions unanswered, and that's fine because we're gonna watch a second and see how many answers get questioned or how many questions get answered. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, this is one of the best horror movies I've seen in a long, long time. I'd put it up there. It could be one of the best trilogies. If we'll see how the second one goes. I remember some of it. What I remember, it was a good movie. Third one, I'm interested in seeing if they ever make it. I think the timeline. I don't know. We'll see. This movie had a budget of $3 million. It made $10 million. So, like I said, with that, all that being said, 9 out of 10, I think, is a respectable rating. And Brandon,
I'm gonna go 9.5 on it. Only issues I had with the movie that brings it down, that kind of keeps it from being a 10, is again, like, no bullets in the gun. Like, come on, dude, that pissed me off. And also another thing that pissed me off was when after he gets the combination and he goes up there and he decides to take the jewelry anyway. Like,
yeah,
under the circumstances of what's happening here. But
I mean, I understand it. He's thinking about his daughter, but yeah.
wow, I mean,
And that is
it just kind of it kind of lowered my respect for him a tiny
then he
bit.
went back to
He did definitely redeem himself by going back for the girl, and especially me having a daughter. Like, I can understand that. But
she had a daughter of his own too.
Right, exactly. So I get it, but other than that, it was good. I really liked the character Arkham. He was very good. He was very calm, you know, and like under these circumstances, he did a very good job, like keeping calm with with all the fucked up shit that was going on.
Losing fingers. He's like getting tortured. And he's really, when he was saying those homophobic remarks to the guy, that you could tell that got under the guy's skin. So, wonder if they set up anything in the second.
Well, he was calling him a faggot because
that is, yeah.
And I think what's going on there is, I think that's what he was called, like, growing up as a kid.
Yeah,
and so
this guy definitely seems like he gets off on killing. So it's probably he's probably a sadist.
Wow, no shit.
Yeah, he probably gets off on all this. Sexually pleases him or some weird stuff. He's definitely a weird killer. Like,
he's strange, but very very creative.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
He's not likable at all. Like he's not a guy
No.
you're gonna go buy T-shirts of and root. Like he ain't like that. He's not Michael. He's not Jason, which is good. It's good. He kind of reminds me of Jeepers. Like I don't really like the Creeper either. Like he's an asshole, and this guy's an asshole. He's not one guy I want to root for.
So that leaves it at an official rating of 18.5 out of 20.
20.
Out of 20. But yeah, so what we're going to do now is we are going to watch the second one. So you can watch for that one next week. I know we missed last week because, we got busy with our own personal lives and couldn't put out a review last week. But we're putting this one out. We're going to be putting the collection out next week.
Hold on. There might be The Nun slipped in there.
Okay, so you can expect to see the collection either next week or the week after, guaranteed.
So yeah,
but so
been...
I know we got to do Nun 2. That movie's out right now, but so we got that coming, and like I said, I saw the collection. I think like 2 years ago, maybe a year or two ago.
Long time ago. I didn't show you that for a while. Unless you watched it with somebody else.
I thought it was kind of somewhat recent.
No, it was a while ago.
Huh. Well, I saw it a little while ago. I remember it being kind of good, but I was kind of tired when I watched it, so I don't really remember too much of it. But we're going to watch it right now. Hopefully, it's as good as... Or better than this one. And if it is, I really hope that we get this third movie. That way, it'd be a nice, good trilogy.
Yeah, trilogy.
And then just leave it as is, Don't go tampering with it. So,
but make this guy have kids and
have a wife and all that stupid shit that Chucky's doing right now.
And none of that. So that wraps it up, guys. That was The Collector, guys. So appreciate you. Like, subscribe if you'd like to, and leave a comment on what you think of this movie once you watch it, or if you've ever watched it. And so that's been Chop and Slice review on The Collector, guys. We will see you later, and don't put yourself in a box. Be who you.
There you go.
Be you. All right. See you guys later. Bye.